This is a Flimsy tripod that actually broke my cinema camera. I didn't buy it because it was good. I bought it because I was influenced to do so. There are a ton of influencers online that actually affect our buying decisions, and they usually do it through ads and personal experiences that we don't know if they are paid or not to do so. Today we have 5 camera gear products that I actually regret being influenced to buy. We're going to rank them from the cheapest to the most expensive, going up to $2,000 in losses. And by the end of this video, I'll tell you what failed, what I bought instead, and how to spot the hype before it costs you money. Starting with the cheapest one, and one of the first things that I was influenced to buy are branded memory cards. And I'm not talking about Lexar or ProGrade. I'm talking about camera company memory cards. And I invested in these because someone online said camera companies make the best memory cards in the market. I thought that the camera branded company ones would be more immune to failure. And of course, memory cards are one of the most important investments in your camera gear, because if they fail, you are going to have your worst nightmare. Shooting something for your client who already paid you and you cannot deliver anything because you don't have anything anymore. And that's what exactly happened with me. I went to an event, shot the event, came back home to offload the data. My PC couldn't read the memory card. My camera couldn't read the memory card anymore. And I don't know what happened. I freaked out, called the producer. She told me we'll use the footage and the photos from the B cam. It's not something that you want to go through again. The first thing you would do is not trust branded memory cards because they are all prone to fail. Even SSDs and HDDs are prone to fail. Get multiple memory cards, use a camera that has 2 SD cards, use a B cam when you can. Never go to an event without a backup. I remember back in 2018 watching a video where someone said you have to buy a microphone and stop using the on-camera microphone if you want your videos to excel. And nowadays at this point, I agree with him 100%. But buying the cheapest microphones are not professional too. I went out and bought a $2 lav mic. Same as this one that I'm wearing right now. I didn't know how much a lavalier mic should cost, and I didn't do any research. I just bought it and started using it on client work. When I got back home, I was surprised to see that this mic only records on the left channel. So it's a mono microphone. So I had to duplicate the audio track in post and then flip it to the right channel. Then I had a stereo audio, which was not a good workaround, especially for longer shoots. The second thing was that the audio quality was trash. I actually lived with that microphone for like 3 years. Camera gear is expensive, and when you find something that cheap, please don't go out and buy it without research. You can buy the old Rode Wireless Go 1 or Go 2s, you can buy the DJI microphones, and even the Rode Wireless Pros are now discounted. So you can go out and buy them. I'm using one right now and it sounds incredible, but this is one of the high tier prosumer microphones that you can buy right now. As you've seen in the beginning of the video, the tripod that broke in half and went into the pool is an actual tripod that I was influenced to buy, or one of 2 actually, because one of them was this one that was promoted as a travel tripod, and I wanted something like that because I love stationary shots. And when I traveled to the UAE, I used it as my main tripod for a while, and then like 2 years in, it started falling apart. Then I went out and bought an actual sturdy tripod from Small Rig. This is the AD01 that I'm using right now, and I have 3 of it. The second time, which I was actually surprised to see a branded tripod that is promoted to be a travel tripod that's fast to open and fast to close, not working very well in the showroom. And I was like, no, I'm not buying that. And I'm giving these 2 examples because one of them was extremely cheap and the other one was extremely expensive, and both of them failed. This one is kind of controversial. I've been shooting for like 10 years. I have never used an ND filter up to this day. Let me fix that. And when I did try them out, they failed me. That's why I didn't use them anymore. Some influencer online said that you have to have an ND filter if you're shooting videos professionally. So I went out to a local shop and asked them if they have an ND filter, and they said, yes, we have 2 brands. Both of them were knockoffs. I bought that one. I went to the shoot, used it on my 50mm f1.8. I put the ND filter on and everything went purple. I told my assistant, can you see that it's purple? He said, yes, I think it's because of the glass you put in front of your lens. I took off the ND filter and everything went back to normal. So I was like, should we make a workaround? Should we like adjust the tint inside of the camera or leave it to post? And we were shooting on an DSLR, so we didn't have like 10-bit color or raw to edit in post. I just took off the ND filter and never used it again. Up to the point where I really wanted to invest in a good quality ND filter, went out and bought the first one that I saw on Amazon because it was a reputable company that creators said that it's a good one to invest in. Put it on my camera, and I have a ton of camera gear from this company, so I trusted it. Right before before the shoot, I was like, let's try the ND filter. I don't want to go into the same situation. This time it was a VND. So I closed the VND like this, and it made like a X shape on the screen. I was like, what is that? We were running into another issue with an ND filter, and there was a green tint this time. So one of the most important things to invest in is good quality ND filters, because good quality glass will give you good quality images. And the second thing that I hated about VNDs are screwing VNDs over CPLs, over the diffusion filter. I like using diffusion filters. So just stacking all of these up was a mess for me, and especially over a VND that would move when I'm moving the CPL, it was horrendous. And that's where the hybrid VND from Freewell came. Yes, they send me this, but they have no saying on this. It's a hybrid VND slash CPL. They have this magnetic filter thread that you apply to your lens. It has no glass in front of it. Then you apply the VND on top, and it just sticks to the lens. And you might ask me, how can you put it in place? So the first part is the CPL. And whenever you rotate it, it's rotating the CPL. But the VND is still in its place because you're not rotating the VND, you're rotating the whole filter around. So whenever you have it on the right spot or right place, you can just lock it in using this screw. And that's when you cannot move the whole filter, you only can move the VND part. I actually got impressed by this thing. This is a diffusion filter, and it's one of the main filters that I use it in front of all of my lenses. But what I like about this is that it just magnetizes on top of the VND. It's a great VND system. Thanks for Freewell for sponsoring this video. And finally, for the $2,000 mistake. As you know, whenever a camera company launches a new camera, you have all the creators post their videos on embargo day. And when Nikon launched the Nikon ZR, which was their first red camera, as a normal cinematographer would get influenced to try out the camera or even buying it, because the Nikon ZR, when launched, was incredible. On paper, this is the dream camera. 6K, 60 FPS, red raw, 32-bit float audio internally, no overheating for $2,000. That's a steal. And I was kind of sad because I switched to Sony from Nikon 2 years ago, literally like a month before they acquired Red. So I ordered the camera. And I was disappointed, not because it's not good, but it was not for me. Of course, I had some doubts about overheating because the body is small, it's fanless. So I got the camera and tried it out, and it never overheated. We've made a whole video about FX3 versus Nikon ZR that you can watch after this one. I'll link in the description and up here. Now you might ask me, what's wrong with this? What do you want more? The problem is that it has a ton of minor issues that you wouldn't calculate whenever you watch a video online. The first one is that you need a ton of CF Express Type B cards, which are expensive. Like half a terabyte gives you 40 minutes of recording. Of course, you have to invest in SSDs, you have to invest in HDDs. I don't think it's something to use for YouTube video or for a normal event. Of course, there's also the ergonomics and the whole switching from another system. And I decided that this camera is not for me. This was pure peer pressure purchase. There's a lot of P's in this. It was totally unnecessary. Same as all of the other products that I mentioned before. At the end, I just wanted to say, never buy camera gear or cameras because an influencer said so. Research, try out the camera, borrow it, rent it, do whatever you can to make sure that this camera or this camera gear works for you and is necessary for you, and you have the budget for it, and you can actually buy it without going broke, because the worst thing that you can do to yourself is get into debt for a piece of camera gear that doesn't work for you. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below what you want to know about next, and I'll see you in the next one.